CCTV's Sean Calebs is in our newsroom with a reaction from the United States. Sean?
Mike, thanks very much. While China is supporting the sanctions in an effort to keep DPRK leader Kim Jong-un from developing nuclear weapons, Beijing says the sanctions should not adversely affect the everyday life of the people in the DPRK. There are reports that the new sanctions will be a major upgrade in existing penalties, something the United States has sought. China and the U.S. are agreeing Kim Jong-un's government should be punished for its recent nuclear test and a rocket launch in early February, an agreement that took weeks to hammer out. The proposed UN sanctions culminated some 50 days of negotiations between the United States and Beijing. The United States maintains there can be no peacemaking negotiations, however, until the DPRK vows to remain nuclear-free. Today, a U.S. State Department spokesman said it is important that the world stays united in the effort to punish DPRK for violating UN mandates on nuclear restrictions.
We still continue to believe that it's important for the international community to react in a robust fashion to the most recent provocations by the North, that it's important that the international community stay unified on a more robust set of measures, and that's what we're hoping is the outcome here.
Still there is tension between the United States and China over an anti-ballistic missile system the United States wants to deploy in South Korea, known as THAAD, which stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. The U.S. State Department spokesman was asked if the U.S. agreed to postpone talks with Seoul on THAAD in exchange for Chinese agreement to tougher new sanctions against the DPRK. The State Department categorically denies any such deal was discussed. Beijing is concerned because the THAAD radar system would extend far beyond the border of the DPRK and into China, and Chinese leaders maintain that would compromise their country's security. Mike?
And on the topic of the DPRK, we learned more about the U.S. student being detained in Pyongyang. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, today, 21-year-old Otto Friedrich Warmbier made a tearful statement. He's accused of trying to steal a banner with a political slogan on it from a staff-only section of a hotel he was staying at while in the DPRK. This happened on January 1st. Warmbier admitted guilt and asked for forgiveness. During the government-organized news conference, he said he tried to steal the banner because a deaconess at his church said she wanted it for, quote, a trophy, and offered him a used car worth $10,000. His family says it was the first time they have seen pictures of him in nearly 2 months. The U.S. State Department says it knew about the arrest but did not comment due to privacy considerations. Now, while the U.S. State Department is discouraging and has discouraged Americans from going to the DPRK, his trip was arranged by a U.S. travel firm called Young Pioneer Tours. Mike?
Interesting. Sean Calebs live from our newsroom. Thanks so much.